Did you ever wonder why Canada seems like such a happy, cordial place? It's because when people think of the world's most dangerous forms of martial arts, they think of Canadian combat before anything else. With Haya's Canadian Combat Training Program, once certified, all you'll ever have to do is show your sweet official Canadian Combat t-shirt, and you'll be having a dart with your combatant over a cold Labatt faster than you can say, "What's this all about?" All while free of physical conflict. Sign up now, eh? Before it's too late.
Welcome to Interviews with Minus. Wait, do you really want me to say this?
Yeah, just say the line.
The greatest talk show in Terminus.
What is going on, everybody? First of all, thank you for actually showing up for a second show. We've lost some viewers, so that's a good sign. Anyways, tonight we actually do have an interview that's not going to be just me talking, which is the whole concept of this show. If you guys are having any audio issues, please let me know. I think we cleaned them up a little bit from last week. So the format of the show is pretty simple. We're actually going to jump right into some news about the community, about Pantheon, and just about random stuff in pop culture that we'll be able to chat about. So, first of all, I hope everybody liked the opening ad there from Haya, and if anybody didn't get to see it and you're watching now, I will close out this whole episode here with that one more time. So if you missed it, you can catch it as we repost, or you can catch it at the end of the video here. So again, how this is going to work, we're going to go through some news and topics here and talk a little bit with the community. If you guys have questions, please fire them in the chat. I'll do my best to keep up with them. And do keep in mind that we have a bit of a delay. So if there's any problem with like me not responding, I will. And then what we're going to do once we get through that news is we have a pre-recorded interview with Def. He was not able to make it live tonight, so we're going to go ahead and throw that up, and I'll interact with the chat as we do that. And then we'll jump back for a quick closing, and we'll show that video one more time. So first of all, if you haven't seen Interviews with Minus before, don't feel bad. Not many people have. This is a show where we talk about the community of Pantheon. We interview content creators. In the future, we're going to have fans and maybe even devs someday. Maybe really wishful thinking there. I'm not 100% sure we will get to that, especially when they see this. But another news and note about that is we do want to do them live moving forward. So whether it's a pre-recorded video or it is a video for, live, and we do the actual interview live with you guys. So we're going to figure that out. And we'll give a couple news and notes here that this show and then next week will be the last two of season 1. We're going to spend a few weeks getting things changed up a little bit. It may be a little bit longer than a few weeks. We're going to change up the set, change up some of the functionality. So this week we'll talk with Def, as I said, and then next week we're going to have a live interview with Haya, who's my right-hand man, so that should be a lot of fun. I actually don't know the answers to some of the stories he'll tell. And you guys know how our interviews flow if you've seen it before. If not, you'll see it when we throw up with Dev here. So again, first of all, thanks for coming by. The biggest part of all this is community. It's chatting in the chat with everybody. Have a good time, guys. Throw some questions at me. I will try my best to answer them, or I will make things up. So let's go ahead and get into some news and notes. So last week, we talked on our show about the fact that we actually have a date when Alpha is coming, which is soonish. And I kid you not, there are people out there who started to ask in Discord, and I will leave them nameless, how did Pantheon Plus get the dates to Alpha? Look around. Look at this. Look at this cup right here. Does anything on this show look extremely serious? Guys, if we're going to joke, I can't have everybody reacting to thinking we actually know things. Plus, that puts a lot of pressure on us for the show. So, yes, the game's coming soonish. It's a joke. Wanted to clear that up. I didn't want to leave it bad for everybody. Last week, we actually talked about Co Carnage, and this is actually something serious. I wanted to bring it up again. And no, I've never talked to Co Carnage, and no, he's never watched a show we've ever done, and he will probably never, ever watch a show we do. Let's be very clear about that. He's actually professional and does an amazing job out there. But I did want to give a big shout out as someone who's been a huge part of the streaming community for Pantheon and getting the vision out there. He actually just finished 2,000 straight days of streaming, and each day had to be at least a half hour. where more of it was about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, I believe he said. That's absolutely incredible. For anyone out there who wants to get into streaming, that's the type of dedication it takes to getting yourself out there in the community. And for those that don't know, we are all about trying to help people who want to get into the community as well. And we're far from a co-carnage, like infinitely whole other side. You have a professional there, and we're just a bunch of noobs figuring it out. But wanted to give him a shout out, and we all know that he is going to have a stream coming up soon for Pantheon, which he actually brought up, which is pretty cool. So if you didn't see already, Pantheon did have a developers roundtable. It's a little long. It is a little sketchy on audio. There's some volume issues, but I'll tell you what, I laid down one night, threw it on and listened, and it was a really good interview. If you're into economics and learning more about what Pantheon has to offer, about, Basgrim says, it looks like you're interviewing Co right there, so just roll with it. No one can tell the difference. And guys, I will stop and react to chat the entire time. It's about community. I want to get you guys shouting out. So again, what I was saying is they started talking about the economics of the game, and there's some really interesting talk in there, and it's been known for a while, but they actually hired an economist, which is pretty cool. So if you didn't know that, they're really going in hard on trying to figure out the best way to make the economy work. And it's really tricky in an MMO. And they kind of talk about some of those tricky issues and talk about different things they're thinking about. So if that's something you're into, there's a good bit in there. There was a part at the end, though, that hasn't got as much coverage. And maybe it's because they've actually said it before. But they actually have talked about the fact that class balance is super important to them. And they talk specifically about tanks. Like, they don't want it to ever be like, I don't want to take a warrior because I want to take a paladin. It's a nice little breakdown straight from Brad. If you haven't listened to that, it'll kind of give you an idea of how important class balance is. So something serious, actually check this out if you're into it. Like I said, it's a great listen. You can throw it on in the background. So let's get into some more pressing matters here. As I stated, we are going to do a really good job of following up on what BoomTap's favorite game of the week is, and we're going to try to keep everybody up to date. It's hard. It could change multiple times. So this is our BoomTap corner here, and as you can see, he purchased Borderlands, the Handsome Collection, which actually I'm going to give him a huge thumbs up on. Not so much on the Assassin's Creed. I just can't get into it. But Borderlands, yeah, good stuff. Now here's the funny part that I have to call out, and I hope someone gets this back to him. BoomTap, in your tweet, you actually got a reply from Xbox. And they said, Borderlands never gets old. What class are you going to use? As you can see, there were no replies. Other people liked the message. BoomTap, Xbox reached out to you personally, and you ignored them. That shows you how big time Boom is. I only hope I could get to that level. If I would have saw that, I'd be like, oh, hey guys, I'm playing a Psycho. Anyways, that's an update on what BoomTap's playing. Next week, I'm sure it'll be something different. So Boom, keep rocking out there and keep playing games, because you play more than anyone I've ever seen in my life. Now, being from Florida, and this one being game themed, we always do a little segment of Florida Man. If you haven't heard of Florida Man, look it up. There's some pretty crazy stuff going on out there. So this week, Florida Man tries to give himself brain damage to start Skyrim anew. This is a legit story. This is what happens in Florida. I can tell you this is 100% true. If you didn't see last week, we had a guy picking magical mushrooms with an alligator. I don't know. Crazy stuff. In sporting news, MLB started their season, and nobody cares at all. In music news, if you haven't heard, Corey Taylor from Slipknot actually said that Imagine Dragons is now worse than Nickelback. You kind of wonder, someone in chat, Jose says, please don't say that I live in Florida. I think you just said that. Corey Taylor says Imagine Dragons are now worse than Nickelback. So I have to understand something here. Is this a bad thing for Nickelback? I mean, if you're going to be bad, you might as well be the worst. And if Imagine Dragons are now worse than Nickelback, it's kind of interesting. Do you think Nickelback is actually going to try to be worse now so that they can earn Corey Taylor's approval? I don't know. Here's the funny thing about Corey Taylor. Stop being in 7,000 bands and If you're going to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you're not, don't. I don't know. Corey Taylor confuses me. So speaking of Nickelback in Canada, it's time for that moment, because Haya is from Canada, to do our Meanwhile in Canada. So Meanwhile in Canada, this is a real sign. I've never seen a sign like this in the United States. Correct me if I'm wrong. But apparently, it is caution, deer dance off ahead. Haya, if you've seen this, what do? Do you have to pull your car over and just start dancing? Canada confuses me, guys. It really does. Over the weekend, if you are a nerd like I am, WrestleMania was this weekend, and that's huge. I mean, WrestleMania does almost Super Bowl-like numbers, drives a bunch of business into the towns. If you watched it, it got a ton of hype. And then they just got crapped on by everybody on the internet because the internet hates everything. It was pretty funny, whether you're a wrestling fan or not. If you were following the Reddit for wrestling, it was so positive. It was crazy. I actually thought something had broken Reddit. It was super positive. So it was like, this is the greatest WrestleMania ever. And then there was a bad match. And then it was the worst. Just another way to show how much we love Reddit. And last but not least in the news, last week, look at that great editing. See that? Last week in the news, for us, we did a PvP debate. Now, I know and I understand this, so let me be perfectly clear, that my opinion was pretty strongly against PvP. And those PvP fans were very upset about it. I want to make it perfectly clear that when I state my opinion, I won't be sugarcoating it, guys. So if you really don't want to hear an opinion that might be different than yours, I might not be the guy to listen to. We had the debate. We brought in people like Nathan and Def because I knew that we wouldn't like it. But here's what I wanted to do, because I've triggered a lot of people. A lot of people are upset. I'm not going to apologize, but what I'm going to try to do is let me just get a bunch of things out that might trigger you. And then maybe as a group, we can just move past it. Okay, so here's some things about Minus. Number one, I hate Star Wars. Captain Kirk over Luke every single day, right? I hate DC Comics. Marvel is way better than DC. I don't like Batman. I don't know. Never been a really big fan of Batman. Let me see what else here. I don't like Tool. That seems to upset a lot of people in rock. Big Deftones fan, not into Tool. Let me see what else. I don't like Harleys. I guess a lot of people like Harleys. If I ever got a motorcycle, I'd probably get a crotch rocket. And let's see. Hiya, is there anything else you can think of that I don't like? Because there's a lot of stuff I don't like. I don't like pet classes in MMOs. I really don't. So that's just a couple things. So you guys can get triggered over that, and then we can move past it, and we can start rebuilding our relationships and love one another. So, BattleX says, I see what you're doing here. I'm just getting it all out. This is like Eminem in the movie, where he just trashes himself. See, we're going to make this work. We're going to make this work. Yeah. Larry Fowler, I hate hair. I do hate hair. I do hate hair. Unless it's growing from here. Oh my gosh. Yes. Hey, what's up, Jack? Oh, thank you. I will remove that Reddit post. I don't want to keep it up there to distract. I usually post it and I'll get rid of it. Pink Cell Phone by the Deftones. So great point there by Zach. I hate that song more than anything in the world, and I love the Deftones. But anyway, guys, enough about me. It's just me joking about everybody getting triggered, guys. Here's a big thing with these debate videos. We're going to make a lot more of them. And honestly, how do I feel about the Necromancer and Pantheon? That's a good question. It doesn't exist. Do I just dub it pet class? I will tell you that I actually played a Necromancer in EQ and I really liked it. But I've taken this stance on pet class, Jose. So I guess for now I'll just say I don't like it. But I may come back on that. Triggered. And also, like I said, guys, here's the big thing. These debate videos are for communication. I love debating. Come at me. We'll troll each other. We'll have fun. Just be smart about it, because I'm going to come back at you. And so are other people. So what are you going to do? But that said, okay, guys, let's move on. We're going to go back to our live feed here. So a couple little things. Larry Fowler with the dad joke. I have to say this. So we're talking about the Necromancer. and Larry Fowler is going to win tonight's Dad Joke Award, which is new. We just actually created this. And someone says, "What do you think of the Necromancer class in Pantheon?" And Larry Fowler says, "Sounds like a dead class." Dad Joke of the Night. As we bring this show back, we're going to actually have an award flash up on the screen that says Dad Joke of the Night. Just because of you, Larry. It will be called the Larry Fowler Award for Dad Joke of the Night because you got it. Okay, guys, so again, that's the end of just some of our news and notes that we like to have a little bit of fun with. So what we're going to do is actually kick into the meat and potatoes right now, and we are going to show our live interview, well, pre-recorded interview. We're going to show it live. I'll jump into chat with you. This is Def from Battle Axe Theater going through why he plays MMORPGs as part of the community. We're going to get into some content about Pantheon. We're going to talk about some of our favorite moments. So everybody, if you know Def from Battle Axe Theater, we are going to kick into that now, and I will shut up, and I hope everyone enjoys, and we'll chat. I'll be back after the interview to close it up, and we'll show the Haya battle training afterwards. So here we go, guys. I've been waiting for this one for quite a while. So everybody, please let me introduce you to Def of Battle Axe Theater, and he has a magic drink, if you can't tell. It's a magic drink that actually makes him disappear. We heard it might be in Pantheon. We are not sure. We cannot confirm that. Nope. So, Def, welcome to the show, man.
It's very potent. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Without a doubt. I think this one's a little long overdue. We've chatted about this a couple times. Yep. We've chatted offline a bit. Both have pretty busy schedules, so really happy to have a chance to actually chat with you. So, again, welcome, man. Let's have some fun.
All right, let's do it, man.
So let's go ahead and start with the easiest question of the night before I start grilling you and giving you a hard time and making this the hardest interview of your life.
Okay.
So, Def, why do you play MMORPGs? Why are you so into them?
Well, it's like a lot of people that's been on the show. It's mainly the social aspect. You know, you come home from work, you get into a game with your other buddies, and you tackle content together, and you progress together, and making friends, you know, like some of my closest friends are from EverQuest, from WoW, from ESO, you know, like that's mainly it. A game isn't fun to me unless you're making new friendships. So
yeah, and the fact that it doesn't end for me is a big one. Yeah,
that's
the time
true,
invested in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you there, man. I mean, I think I've said this a couple of times, so I don't want to be super repetitive, but you know, I'm a 36-year-old guy with a family who's moved around the country a few times. I don't have times to go out to the bar and meet people and hang out. So my meeting people and hanging out is in MMOs. So
yeah, I would like to clear the air. I've had comments where like, you look too young to be playing EverQuest, son. And dude, I'm about to be 33, so I was there.
Exclusive.
I mean, I just get a little bothered, get a little heated by it because I was playing EverQuest when I was 13. So, and I played it till I was like 18. So, you know, I was there.
You won't be bothered by it when you look at me when I'm 50 and then you look at yourself when you're 50. You're like, I'm not bothered by this at all. Thank God I don't look like Minus. So, no.
You're already bald, dude.
Well, yeah. Well,
that's crazy.
That's a family thing. I knew I was doomed, and I dyed my hair every color that's ever been known to man. I bleached my hair out 3 times in 1 week during high school. I've had every color of hair combination you could ever think of. So I sort of did this to myself. I can't complain too much. I had fun with it. Then I just reversed the growing.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I was clean shaven.
Man.
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Good.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
So the next question is, tell me about a time, and I know you probably have a couple good ones. So tell me about a time that you got in trouble in an MMORPG.
Got in trouble. Oh, man. There's a lot, man. There's one time where I made, on EverQuest, I made a Beast Lord. I named him Damn It, and his surname was To Hell.
Okay.
And I got flagged or got a warning or whatever before I logged on, and they created a clone of the character. They never deleted him, and his name was Drastic. So I had to run around Norath with the Ixar Beast Lord named Drastic, which is pretty lame, but
They actually picked your name for you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was just a duplicate of that character. And I had twinked that character out. So, I mean, I had a FBSS, I had two SOSs, I mean, twinked out. And
Fungi
he was
Tunic?
only, huh?
Fungi Tunic?
Possibly. I wouldn't doubt it, man.
Ixar
I
monks
can't
with Fungi Tunic. Oh, you were Beast Lord. Beast Lord, okay.
be smart,
Yeah.
but I think they could wear them too.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was twinked out. So what I did is I sold every piece of gear on Damn It and made a shit ton of money, made all my money back and then some, and had to play drastic.
So that's interesting. They made you change your name, but since they cloned the character, you were able to go and sell all the equipment on the other character. Like you could still log into it.
And play him, yeah. But
who messed that up? Brad's sitting there
know.
like, oh, I remember that character. You're gonna log into, you're gonna pre-register your name for Pantheon, and you're gonna log in. It's gonna say drastic.
Oh my god, I hope not. I hated that name, man. I actually deleted that character. Another time I would get in trouble. You remember what's the dragon in Sibyllus? Trakanon?
I can't remember.
Trakanon.
Horrible. That sounds familiar.
Big ass dragon. We killed him, and there was a mob that we had forgot to kill. And I woke the dead on the dragon, and people started losing their minds and losing their shit. And my guild leader was all like, dude, from now on you need a macro. And that became a thing. So every time I woke the dead, I had to macro it, because all the channers, and mezzers and healers would be freaking out. We got an ad,
Nice.
I can't think of any more at the moment, though.
Well, I think what's funny about your first story is that you survived as the name Damn It with no problem. Mm-hmm. Nobody was upset with that. It was when you became Damn It to Hell that they were upset. So what, level 20?
Yeah, level 15 or 20.
So, were you were a PvP or twink? Is that what you're saying? Or were you just a leveling twink?
Oh, I don't think I was into PvP at that time.
I was going to say, like, who did you kill? Because that's probably who reported you. Or who did you train?
Man, I've done that before. I've gotten pissed off. And I've trained some people in feign death. But I was a kid back then, like...
Listen, if people piss me off enough now, I'll do the same thing. I don't care.
I mean, I would write their name down, man. If you steal my camp or my mob, I'm gonna come back on my monk or my necro and pay you back.
That was the power of a monk. People start giving you a hard time. I used to do this. I had do you remember the giant camp? I can't remember where it was. It was a huge giant camp, and you could farm it for hours, and you kind of had a rotation around the camp.
Oh, and
somewhere
Great Mountains.
I think so.
The hill giants.
Yes, the hill giant camp.
Yeah.
So we were camping in there and, holding down that camp, and this group comes in and tries to steal it from us. So one of the groups on the side spawns, and I run over as a monk. I pull everything, click my J boots. I run up to them, and all the giants are coming behind me, and I just wave and fiend death. They just don't get wiped down. But hey, don't start shit.
Yep. And that was just kind of how it was back in the day, like, don't be a dick and nothing will happen, know?
Yep. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how that plays out in Pantheon.
Granted, I'm much more mature these days. I wouldn't do that in Pantheon. So, Brad, Joppa, if you're watching, let me in. Let me play the game.
Watch out for Damn It.
Yeah, watch out for Damn It.
All right, so that's the first two questions. What I like to do from here on out, the drink thing is blowing my mind. It's like the
crazy.
Same color as your green screen. That's awesome.
So I'm drinking a liquid marijuana. So it's green, and the straw is green, so it's not showing up.
That's pretty funny. Okay, so what we're going to do is jump into 10 this or that questions. This has nothing to do with Pantheon. This is just 10 this or that questions. Answer them how you feel, and we'll talk about them if I feel like I have to put you in your place because you picked wrong. So, hot chocolate or coffee?
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee as well. Don't get me wrong, a really good homemade hot chocolate with some Fireball shot in it.
I can get down with that.
That's pretty good, but I'll still take a coffee with a Fireball shot instead. So,
Same.
without coffee, I would probably be in jail. I would be Florida man without coffee.
You are a Florida man.
Yeah, well, I'm not in the headlines yet.
Okay.
Would you prefer summer or winter?
Winter.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate summer, dude.
Before I moved to Florida, I used to say winter's not so bad. You can put more clothes on and bundle up. And then I moved to Florida, and now I'm used to it. I'm like, I'm done with that. I don't want to ever scrape ice off my car ever again. So I'm done. All right, this is this is a serious discussion here on this one. I saw this online. I'm like, wow, that's a good one. Would you rather have love or money?
Man.
Right? And I would imagine we can safely assume it's
I
lots.
can buy love with money, right?
Only in Vegas.
If I have enough money, someone will love me, and
Yeah.
I love them back, right?
Even if it's fake, it's still okay. Whatever.
Right? Yeah, just lie to me. I don't care. Money.
I'm gonna be the romantic and say that I've kind of already learned this lesson pretty hard in life, and I'm gonna say love, but I can't argue your point. Hamburger.
Like a dick now. Go ahead.
Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburgers.
Yeah, that's a tough one. So, funny little side story here. We had a party at my place when I lived in New Jersey, and we put Nathan's hot dogs on the grill. And we had put them up on that top rack to let them sit in there for a while and just kind of cook, where it's not going to burn them, really. Well, we were drinking heavily, and we forgot about them for a while. And we maybe it was because we were drinking heavily, but we remembered and went in, and they were like, they were almost like jerky. And we ate them because we were hungry. And they were, in my memory, they were amazing. So we tried to replicate that 100 times. We could never get it. I think that being drunk made them better than they were.
Probably. I can attest to that for sure.
So I think in the long run, I'll go hamburgers with you, but there's some good hot dog moments.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still a hamburger fan.
And you know what's funny too? Like, I'm one of the people that loves the 7-Eleven hot dogs that are like on the rollers for all day.
We've talked about a lot in Battle Axe. Gas station hot dogs, man, they're the shit.
Yeah, they're the worst things ever for you.
Yeah.
They've been sitting in grease and re-rolling in it for days, but they're awesome.
They're so good, dude.
They're so good. All right. Would you rather wear a smartwatch or like a really nice classic analog watch?
Where'd you get this question, man?
The interwebs.
Smartwatch, I guess. I mean, what's the point of an analog watch these days, right?
Just
right?
looking fancy. Well, if you had a bunch of money from that top question, you probably have to rock a pretty expensive watch.
If I had a lot of money, I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on a watch.
No?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'd probably go smartwatch. I don't wear a watch very often, but I do have a smartwatch that I like to wear.
It's like a dick thing to do, like, oh, time for you to stop talking, or I need to go,
But I because I used to wear a watch so much, I still find myself when I'm not wearing a watch being like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those Fitbit things just because of the convenience at work. So I'd be working and I'm like, oh, it's 10:46. That's cool. But that's about it.
Do you prefer TV shows and like binge watching them or watching movies?
TV shows.
What a crazy change, right? If I'd asked you that 10 years ago, there's nobody that would have said TV shows, really.
Nope. I just like that you can get invested into a character and watch the story progress over time. It's really cool. But I love a good movie, but TV shows are, done
What's
by
a
the right
show you're
people.
hooked on right now or excited for?
Man.
Are you a Game of Thrones guy? Or?
I'm a Game of Thrones. Cannot wait. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Is one of my favorite shows. Uh, I've been watching Barry. Uh, Man, there's just so many. I don't even know where to start.
Okay. Have you ever seen one of my favorites? I keep trying to pimp out there. This is free advertising. Is Legion. Did you happen to watch that?
I've been told by several people to start it because they said I would love it.
It's so dark. It is so messed up. You wouldn't even think it's Marvel with how dark and dreary and trippy. It's like watching Requiem for a Dream, the superhero movie.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Check it out.
So Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis?
Super Nintendo, bro.
Yeah? You said that quick. Now, there's an important thing there. Mortal Kombat did not have blood.
What?
Mortal Kombat did not have blood on the Super Nintendo.
Oh, wait. The first one, right?
Yeah. Blood code.
Okay. Yeah.
That was a big deal for me.
I actually have a retro station in my game room.
Oh, that's awesome.
Regular, Super, N64, GameCube.
I have all those. They're all in a box in my garage because I'm a savage. I need to get them out and figure out how the hell I can set all that stuff up. It's tough for me. I had a lot of good Sega Genesis moments. I mean, obviously, Super Mario World is probably one of the greatest games ever made, and I could still probably play it and find all the secret areas easily.
Yep.
And I wasn't as big of a Sonic fan, but there were definitely some games on the Genesis that I really liked. So.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a tough one for me. Would you rather live in the city or the country?
City.
I'm a country guy. Very
well.
big, so.
I was kind of raised in the country, so city life is.
It's like a fun fairy tale.
I guess, but now I like to be secluded. Like not in like balls deep into the city or anything like that. But you're gonna have to edit this, bro.
No, that's good. People, I've checked out the stats in YouTube because that's what they think us content creators do. We just care about stat, and the stats say that you get a lot more hits when mentioning balls deep.
Oh, okay.
So, good stuff.
So I don't want to live balls deep into the city. I kind of like the outskirts of the city. So I get a view of the stars and that sort of thing.
Here's my whole thing. There are more people in a city, so I'm going to go to the place where there's less people.
Yeah. People are the worst.
Yeah, without a doubt. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, cats don't love you, man, no matter what you think.
They make you think, though. There's moments where you're like, this cat might actually love me and cuddle me.
I've never had a good experience with a cat.
Never?
So,
yeah.
No.
I had some, but nowhere near dogs. Dogs are better.
Yeah, dogs are.
So the last one here, I was hoping you would know this. I think you do. If you don't, I'll explain it. Shirley Manson or Marilyn Manson?
I don't know who Shirley is.
All right, so that was my only fear. Garbage. The band Garbage, do you remember them?
Oh, yeah.
So this isn't like a who would you rather sleep with, marry, or kill or anything. So I'm just saying, like, if you had to listen to one, would you have a preference?
Probably Marilyn.
It's tough. When I was a kid, I loved Shirley Manson. I will always remember the video for Only Happy When It Rains. And, like, as a kid, she was wearing that really short skirt in that video, and she was kind of grungy, rock girl. And for me, when I was a skater kid, I was like, yeah, Shirley Manson. But
and you're like, I want to be balls deep.
Yes, they're just ringing in the hits with that.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's good. Yeah, I'd go Marilyn Manson. I saw him live. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. So,
I got one for you, real quick.
Yeah.
Deftones or Tool?
Deftones. Not even close. Actually, I hate Tool. So, yeah. I'm getting more into them. I'm getting more into Tool because I'm starting to more appreciate Passenger than I used to in the past. And my biggest problem with Tool is that I'm not a fan of Maynard's voice. So I'm getting more used to it. Yeah, I don't know, I'm not. But Deftones, so you literally named a band that I'm not a big fan of and my favorite band. So I'm going to go with my favorite. Deftones
I
all
mean,
the
I
way.
love them both, man, but
They're both coming out with albums this year. How weird's that?
I know that cut me deep though, man.
Yeah, there's a
I don't
few
know how
things
to
I've
feel.
said on this show that's gonna lead. Like I told everyone I don't like Star Wars in one of these videos. Now everyone knows I don't like Tool. So it's all downhill from here.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on before you leave.
I'll
We
get
have
you.
two more questions I got to get to you before you get out of here.
Okay.
Tell me about one of your most emotional experiences in an MMORPG. And you can take any emotion you want.
Oh, man. So here's my deal. I can't remember yesterday.
You and me both.
I can remember some moments in EverQuest that I was like, oh my god, it's badass. One was getting my monk epic, and
Okay.
how the whole guild came together to kill the last boss in Lakeville Omen. I think it was Kazakh Thul. I remember just working my ass off back in the day for that thing, and when I finally got it, it was just like I can't believe I finally did it.
Yeah.
That was crazy because I remember being in Lower Guck and finding my way back, in the tunnels without a, real map or anything, and camping this name for days, like camp out my character and just wake up the next day and rinse and repeat, hoping for it to spawn. Um, and same thing with my Necromancer epic, man. It was just cool how a whole guild came together to help you achieve that. It, it was kind of announced, like, hey, we're all getting together for Death's Epic. Everybody show up at this time, and we'll get it done. And we did that for everybody, but it was just a special moment when everybody came together just to help one person out, get one drop, or kill one boss. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
I hope
it's
we
pretty
see
cool.
moments like that in Pantheon because that's really
Yeah.
cool. And it's funny because how many people who haven't played a game like EverQuest are going to talk about something in WoW where like we got to a raid boss? That was a content out in the world that you worked your way towards having to do this one thing, but you needed the help of everybody to do this one thing, and that's awesome.
Yep. The community, man.
Yep. It says
Awesome.
it down there.
Community matters.
So the last one here, why are you all in on Pantheon? Why is that the game for you? Why are you so excited about it? Why is that driving your excitement in the MMO industry so much?
What's that quote from The Dark Knight? Not the game we need, but the game we deserve. Is that how it
Yeah,
goes?
I think so. I didn't even remember that was from the Dark Knight.
Yeah, because I mean that's basically it, man. Like what I was just saying, like it's a game that people that fell in love with the MMO genre before it got to what it is today. It's what we need, man. It's what we deserve. It's that community gathering and coming together and helping someone out. The exploration. It's the game that we've been waiting for, and I couldn't be more excited for that. I mean, I'm looking forward to two things in life right now. It's the new Tool album, and it's Pantheon. So, Deftone albums, if they can do better than Gore,
I knew you were
all
going to
right.
throw that in there. That was set up, guys. He
Yeah.
knows how much I like Gore. Yes, I like the album Gore. And even more so, I'll tell you one more thing that's new. I hated Saturday Night Wrists. I thought it was one of the worst albums ever written. I now like 5 songs on that album.
Oh.
See, the problem is there's one song on, we're getting into music, which is good. There's one song on Deftones' Saturday Night Wrists that if you haven't heard of Deftones, please never listen to it as a song that will influence you in any way on the Deftones, called Pink Cell Phone. It is the only song ever written by the Deftones where I will say is absolute garbage, and I just wish they never wrote it. It was on that album because I hated that song so much. I hated the whole album. Now there's about 5 songs I'm a big fan of. So
I'll be honest with you, Minus. I got 4 tracks into Gore, and I never finished it.
It's so good.
I told you I will give it another shot. I listened to it back when it came out, and I was like, what the hell happened? But anyway.
The interesting thing about that album, and you know, like I said, these interviews are about community and we're talking music. So everybody, you know, down below, what do you think of these bands? Who listens to this style like us? You know, now that we're in an older crowd, we have more chance of people who are into rock, right? Which is kind of cool. It's not going to just be EDM everywhere.
Yeah.
But that album, if you ever listen to an album where you say, I really like this album, but you can't point to specific songs, or you say, this is a great song, this is a great song. It's the journey of the entire album that I really like about Gore. That's the way I listen to it. But you liked Koi no Yokin, right?
That's every Tool album though. It's the journey.
Yeah, but Tool albums, it's one song for 15 tracks that never ends. Just kidding. See,
I can't fault you for that, man, because the songs are long.
But did you like Koi no Yokin, Deftones?
I can't remember.
That's the one with like Leathers, Tempest, Swerve City. That's a good album.
Oh yeah.
It's one before Gore. There's like their comeback album. So yeah, got a little sidetracked, and I love it because that's what this is all about. Don't please say sorry. I'm sitting here naming Deftones albums. Well, your name's Def, so Def. So first of all, before we wrap up, I do want to say thank you for coming on and thank you for sharing. I think people will be interested to hear some of your stories here. How can people get in touch with you, and what's going on with Battle Axe right now? Anything we can share out with people?
Okay, so we started Battle Axe Live. It's going on Monday, 9 Eastern. Wait, 8 Central. What is that?
Nobody knows Central Time. Everything has to be by Eastern Time, Def.
Okay.
It is 9 Eastern, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I had a few magic drinks. Anyway, so we started that. Social media, you know, Twitter, Facebook.
At Battle Axe Theater.
Discord. Mm-hmm.
And you guys don't put an E on Battle Axe. There's no E on Axe.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, and what did Punk say? Because of Canadians or something?
I don't know.
You weren't consulted.
I was not consulted on that. We just made the name in when we were playing ESO, and
maybe your guild couldn't beat you. Were like one letter too long,
right? Maybe
get rid of the E.
I don't know. I know there's a meaning behind it because there's several ways you can spell axe and theater. So yeah.
Okay, so definitely, guys, follow them on Twitter at Battle Axe Theater. Check them out on YouTube. You'll see them putting their links out on Twitter all the time for that. Monday nights, 9 o'clock, Battle Axe Live, or Bat Live, they're calling it. Really cool. I'll tell you something funny. You know, obviously, I joke with you all the time about your rants and stuff and talk to you. I had to watch or listen to your first one in the car because I was closing, right? And I wanted to listen. And I will tell you what, Punk's voice and like how he must set his levels, he has a really good speaking voice, especially when it's in my car and all I can do is drive and listen to him talk. I'm like sitting there thinking like, wow, this guy's got a good voice.
he does, man. And he was a very good guild leader because he had that voice like, okay guys, we need to get this going and blah 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 blah, you know, and I'm like, okay, bruh, do it. You know.
And if you don't listen to me, I'm gonna sick Def on you. So again, Def, awesome guys. Please make sure to follow them. They've been an awesome part of the Pantheon Plus community, but more than anything, their community, what they do. It's not just Pantheon for these guys, and it's awesome. And they don't claim to just be for Pantheon. There's a lot of great content you guys can find from them if you're just into MMORPGs, online gaming. They do a lot of really cool stuff and tutorials type videos. So they're, Battle Axe is well worth the follow if you guys are into MMORPGs, and then you're also going to get great Pantheon content from them as well. So please do check them out. Def, again, thank you, man. It's my pleasure having you on. I enjoyed the hell out of this. And
thank you, man.
We got at least 3 subscribers out of this from being balls deep. So.
Oh yeah, balls deep.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I'm going to close it up here. We'll see you guys next time. There we go. I was talking to myself there for a second. So everybody, I do want to thank you all for coming and hanging out in the chat. Chat's been fun, BSing, and that's a lot of what this is all about. Next week will be our last video for Interviews with Minus for this season. Might take a month or so off. We're going to redo the set here. We're going to redo some other things, and it's going to be 100% full-time live. There are quite a few people who have asked to be on the show, and I've talked with, and I promise if you're in the chat or you're watching this video, we are definitely going to get you on. Some members of VOT, some members in the community. There's quite a few, so we're really going to work hard to try to get more people on the show, and particularly I want to get fans on, not just content creators, because it's cool to have all the content creators on, but I don't want anyone to think that this is just me trying to hype up different content creators to get subscribers. It's really not about that, guys. I mean, I can say it till I turn blue in the face. You can either believe me or not, but it really is about community, and it is about how, no matter how much we argue and fight about different things inside the Pantheon community, whether it's in Reddit or the videos or you know, upsetting people with my views on PvP, at the end of the day, I think sharing stories like this and kind of talking about how we all have done different things that we can relate to, there's a lot of room for commonality. So that's one of the big reasons we do this. So the last couple of things here. So first and foremost, I do want to say we do have an update from Basgrim. This is very important. So I want to go ahead and show this real quick. We have dug in a little bit more, and Basgrim was on the scene live as one of our reporters, and we questioned Boom about him not responding to Xbox. And the direct quote from Boom was, "He and Xbox are tight." So he's so tight, he doesn't even need to respond. If I don't respond to my wife, I get in trouble. So that's some serious tightness there, Boom. Some serious tightness. So once again, guys, thank you very much. We're going to end this video now. Thank you for all the contributions in the stream. Thunderbun, Skeleton Jack, Mika, Basgrim, Battleaxe. I mean, I could keep going. There's quite a few. So thank you guys all for your participation. That's what makes this fun. It's more about chatting and hanging out than it is about me in any way, shape, or form. So without further ado, let me switch over here. We're going to bring up our Haya video, and then we'll close it up after it's done. If you haven't seen this yet, check it out. Did you ever wonder why Canada seems like such a happy, cordial place? It's because when people think of the world's most dangerous forms of martial arts, they think of Canadian combat before anything else. With Haya's Canadian Combat Training Program, once certified, all you'll ever have to do is show your sweet official Canadian Combat t-shirt, and you'll be having a dart with your combatant over a cold Labatt faster than you can say, "What's this all about?" All while free of physical conflict. Sign up now, eh? Before it's too late.
The Pantheon.